Dr. Jerry if he is still able to do that. He was citing connectivity issues. But I think we can just proceed with that. He will be able to catch up.
Cool.
Yeah. Your time starts now.
Everyone, thank you very much for having us. I am Gift Lubele, and I believe in a world where waste is valued. And I strongly believe that the African continent can be the next leader when it comes to circular economy. We're from Kudoti. We are a scalable digital platform for efficient waste management and recycling in the African continent. Unfortunately, at the moment, Africa is not a leader when it comes to circular economy. In fact, my team and I spend a lot of time trying to understand the challenges the waste management industry is facing. And we found these really interesting challenges. The first one is that there's a lot of inefficiencies within this industry caused by paper-based processes. Second to that, there's a lot of resources wasted by manual services in places where these services could be easily automated. And unfortunately, this leads to very low margins among key waste stakeholders. So in response to these challenges, what we do is the following. Firstly, we streamline processes and digitization. What that means is we work with waste management companies to essentially eliminate all unnecessary processes in their operations. Second to that, we increase efficiency through optimization. What that means is we work with these waste management companies to essentially help them use the resources that they have in the most efficient way possible. And lastly, we improve performance and analytics through measuring key activities within the waste industry. What really excites me about our platform is the fact that it covers three major key stakeholders within the waste industry. Our platform is suitable for recycling SMEs, for the informal sector, and also big waste management companies through these three functionalities: digitization, coordination, and optimization. As you can see here, really, our platform has benefits to all these three stakeholders. Take waste management companies, for example. We help them with analytics. The recycling SMEs, we help them by collecting data. And the informal waste sector, we help them by automating interactions through SMSs, WhatsApp, and even chatbots, for example. What really excites me is the fact that we managed to take our technology and build two different business models out of it. The first one being software as a service, where our users essentially pay us a monthly subscription fee. And the other one is a platform as a service. Now, what that means really is we are able to go with our current technology in environments where there is very little or no infrastructure or recycling infrastructure, that is, and we're able to build new solutions from scratch using our technology, with our target market being waste management companies, municipalities, and informal waste pickers. What really excites me is that as of May 2020, we were actually post-revenue, and we have about 100,000 rands in the pipeline as a monthly recurring revenue. And we project to be making about 1.2 million in the first 12 months of full operation. And as you can see by the map here, we have clients already who are paying and using our beta version. We haven't even launched this yet, but we already have people who are actually paying for our services. And it's not limiting to South Africa. As we're a platform, we already have other projects in parts of the African continent, which is really exciting for me. Coming back to South Africa, we looked at the market and we're looking at about 24 billion rands in the waste market. And out of that, we deduced that about 9.5% of that could be technology, which is about 2.2 billion. And out of the 2.2 billion technology market, we as Kudoti are very confident that we can get 45% of that market, which is about 950 million. What excites me is this market grows every single year at a rate of 8.5%. Our go-to-market is interesting as well because we are actually leveraging already existing relationships to build out our client base, in the sense that our early adopters have already started paying and using our services, and they're referring us to other key stakeholders within the recycling industry. The plan really is to continue forming these partnerships, and so we get to a point where we have an omni-channel, or rather a multi-stakeholder integrated waste management platform. And this is the team. We have Chris, who's our CPO, 15 years in product development, myself as the COO. We have Matthew, who is just completed his master's, and we have Kola, who's our development lead. That is all from us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. For this round, we then have to ask our jury to come on stage so that they can pose questions to you pertaining your startups. And the rest of the jury members will then be able to ask the questions via the chat box. What I'm just requesting is that if we're asking a question, and or maybe from your responses, Gift, try to keep them short and precise so that you can be able to accommodate a bit more questions.
Absolutely.
Right. I'll start off with Mr. Alon.
Thank you. From our perspective, Gift, just two questions. The first is, how much money are you asking for, if you're asking for any, because that seemed to be a product presentation, not an investment presentation. So are you looking for money? If so, how much, and when would you pay it back, and how? And my second question, impressive that you've got 100,000 of recurring revenue. How did you actually get that? Did you go knock on doors? How did you get that business?
Yeah, thanks, Alan. So we're looking for 3 million. The money is going to be about, if I were to break it down in percentage, 45% of that is going to go into our product development. And then 30% is going to go into essentially team expansion. The rest is essentially, I'd say, working capital. So the reason we got to 100,000 rands in the current pipeline is that we already have someone who's paying us about 60,000 rands per month, and it's just one client, and it's a beta model. So it's a beta version. We haven't really launched our first version as yet. So it is quite, I guess, possible for us to even surpass 100,000 rands per month with the current pipeline that we have today.
How did you didn't answer my question. How did you get that?
Yeah,
how did you get it?
Right. So the company that we are working with is Distel. They're based in Cape Town, the beverage company. So they actually they've been doing a recycling project in Khayelitsha, trying to work with the informal waste pickers, but they didn't have a recycling infrastructure to essentially record the activities that they do. What they want to do is work with these informal waste pickers to give them things like equipment, some training, and all of that. But they don't have any infrastructure, and that falls in our platform as a service. We went to them and we were able to build a new platform from scratch that essentially helps them with things like monitoring the activities that they do with these informal waste pickers. What's interesting is that we also are getting some data from these informal waste pickers that could be used for their reporting.
Thank you.
Now we're gonna give this opportunity to Mr. Vusitembewai to ask these questions.
Yeah, hi, Gift. Great presentation. I'm curious about understanding your pricing model. So you've got this 60,000 Rand customer that you've signed up, but in my mind, I want to understand the scalability of your pricing model, and I want to understand the margins built into the pricing. At a per unit cost, say, both for the software and the platform. And then just help me understand what your break-even points look like.
Yeah. So at the moment, we have essentially a pricing model, particularly for software as a service. The platform as a service essentially varies in the sense that we go and kind of assess the problem. For example, with what we're doing with Distel, there's no solid pricing. If we get another project from a different client, we might have a different pricing. But just looking at the software as a service, we have different packages starting from about 1,500 all the way to about 3,000. And these are particularly meant for different stakeholders with different benefits. Speaking about the costs of our technology, at the moment, we have one guy who's doing our development for about 25,000 rands per month, and so that we have just essentially broken it down into things like actual development, testing of the actual new features that we're putting in place. But all in all, it cost us about 25,000 rands per month to have this individual on board who is continually building this platform for us.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure that my questions were answered, but maybe let me come. I'm cognizant of time. Sorry, Tel, but let me come at it differently. I want to just basically understand what you've just said. Now is for the platform, we don't have a pricing. We go and understand what the client's budget is, and then we'll fit ourselves into that. And for the software, we have some sort of per unit cost, but we're not sure what that is either. Am I understanding it correctly?
Not quite. So we do have pricing. We do have pricing for our clients, and we do have pricing for our cost of making the product. So the reason I summarized it to 25,000 rand is because we are now at a beta model, and we have about, I'd say, 4 clients in the pipeline. We haven't broken it down into how much the client acquisition cost would be, because it's a better model. I think once we've launched our first version, we would essentially have a much more clear visibility as to how much it kind of cost us. But at the moment, everyone that we have on the platform is using. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what we have for now. That's the time is up. So we then have to then request the jury to go onto the portal, where they will be then scoring your presentation. So jury members, you can go ahead and go onto the portal and score Kudoti. Thank you for the presentation.